Hi, today we're putting henna hair dye in my hair. Henna is a natural dye. It's made with dried leaves from a henna plant that are ground up into a dusty powder. It's a stain and it's all natural, no chemicals. When I mix my henna paste, I mix it with 1 package of henna powder that I buy off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And 1 can of organic coconut milk with the coconut cream in it. You open the can. If the cream has separated from the liquid, I scoop it out and I put it in a bowl and I put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds just so that it all stirs together nicely. And then you put the powder into that, making sure it's not too hot. Stir that all together. You can add 1 teaspoon of plain white sugar. It helps to smooth it out. And a few drops of your favorite scented essential oil. You can add as many as about 10 drops. I think that's a good ratio. I've used lavender oil in with henna, but this time I chose clove oil. So you take that paste, and it's going to be about the consistency of yogurt, and you have it in a bowl, and you put it in a warm spot in your house above the fridge or something overnight, at least 6 hours, but as many as 12 hours. And that will help the henna leaves to release their dye. You're going to know that that has happened because in a clear bowl, you'll see a lighter kind of green color in the henna on the bottom of the bowl, but towards the top of the bowl, it'll have gotten darker, almost like a brown color, and that means the dye release has happened. When you have the henna in the bowl, take a piece of saran wrap and lay it on top and kind of make sure that it touches all around the top of the henna, kind of the way you would store pudding in the refrigerator so that you don't get a skin on the top of it. It helps the henna not to dry out overnight. So now we're ready to apply. Henna is a permanent dye. When you use henna tattoos, you put it on your skin and it permanently dyes the top few layers of your skin. But the tattoo is temporary because as your skin exfoliates, your stain goes away. Your hair doesn't exfoliate, so it is a permanent hair dye. It stains your hair permanently and will grow out as your hair grows, just like any other permanent hair dye. When you apply henna, you want to use gloves because you will get brown all over your hands. They'll turn bright orange from the henna stain. So you want to protect your hands with gloves. And henna does stain clothing and furniture, so you want to be really careful not to get henna all over the place. I put a Ziploc baggie inside of a cup, like you would fill an icing bag, and you fill the bag with henna and seal it. And now I'm going to cut a snip off the end of the bag so that I can apply it to my hair like icing, because it is, as I said before, the consistency of yogurt. So it's not as drippy as normal hair dye. It will end up going on your hair kind of like mud. And it's a little different than normal hair dye in that you leave it on your hair for a long time. You can leave your henna on your hair for 2 to 4 hours for a good stain. Natural henna will stain your hair red. So it's always the same color. There are companies that create a variety of colors, but they add different things to their henna mix to create that variety of colors. Natural henna always stains red. Let's get started. So I know that the area that I want the best stain is towards the front here, so I'm going to start there. And I'm going to start down by my roots. My hair has been dyed with henna before, so I'm going to start down by my roots and kind of just massage it in. Now with chemical hair dye, you're kind of pretty careful not to put the hair dye right down onto your scalp. But you don't have to be with henna, because henna is all natural. And it's okay if it touches your skin. It will not, you won't have a dark brown scalp as though your whole scalp is like, had a henna tattoo on it. That's just not the way it works. Your scalp might be tinted for the first couple of days, but not in a bothersome kind of a way, and then it just kind of fades away. But your hair stays dyed. Henna also oxidizes on your hair over the first few days that it's dyed. It'll be really bright when you first wash it out, but then over the next few days it kind of darkens up a bit and turns leans a little more towards like an auburn brown color. But it's still very red. Don't be fooled into thinking that you're dyeing your hair brown. You're not. So this is probably where we'll speed up the video a little bit if we can, while I'm applying it to my head. Oh, one other bit. There are a couple of different recipes out there on the internet about how to make your henna paste. A lot of people do it with lemon juice or hot tea. The secret, for the most part, is to do it with something that's acidic. It helps with the dye release, but it's not always necessary. I know that I've been following folks who dye their hair with henna for quite a while, and it seems like even warm water will generate a good dye release. But I choose to use coconut milk because it worked just as well to bring out the color the first time I tried it. And the coconut milk helps to condition your hair as well. If you use something very acidic like lemon juice, it will work and color your hair, but it will also dry out your hair to some extent. And it just doesn't feel as nice after you wash it out. But that doesn't happen with coconut milk. Your hair is nice and soft, and it's actually a little easier to wash it out than with lemon juice or hot tea. And it doesn't stain immediately as soon as it touches your skin. So if you do go outside the lines a bit and get some on your skin, you can just wipe it off when you're done with a damp rag or towel, or paper towel, and you won't have henna spots on your skin there. It'll take a bit longer for that to happen. Okay, I think I've got pretty good coverage here. Now that my hair is completely saturated with the henna mud, I'm going to clean off all the little edges where I might have gotten it on my skin. And then I'm going to take either a plastic bag, or, which you should never do if you're going to put it all the way over your face, but if you put a plastic bag over your henna and secure it so that it'll kind of keep it moist and your head will get nice and warm, and it will allow it to stay wet for the 2 to 4 hours that you're going to keep the henna on your hair. You could also use saran wrap it around the henna that's on your head. So then if you have to go out, you could always put a hat over it and no one would know that you have henna on your head if you go out of the house. So that's what we're going to do now, and we'll come back in a little bit. Thanks. Okay, so here's the saran wrap. I'm going to use this to wrap around my freshly hennaed hair and keep it moist for the next 2 to 4 hours. Probably going to leave it on for about 2.5 hours. One more thing I wanted to say was that with traditional chemical-based hair dyes, if you have any leftover mixture, they instruct you on the box to throw it away right away. Either the chemicals will become inactive after a certain amount of time, or it could be dangerous to store them because they always tell you not to close the cap tightly or else the container may explode. That doesn't happen with henna. If you have leftover mixture, you can always reseal the bag or put that snipped bag inside of another bag and put it in the freezer. Henna will stay viable for up to a year if kept frozen. So when your roots start to grow out and you just want to do some touch-up, you can thaw out your leftover mixture and then apply it, and then follow the same steps. It will last for up to a year. So here goes. I'm getting a little henna on my hands. I'll just wash them off when I'm done. I think 3 pieces of saran wrap should seal everything in nicely. Now leave this on and go watch a movie or hang out, surf the internet, watch YouTube videos. And then afterward, once the time is up, you go into the shower. It's the easiest way to do it, is in a shower. And you make the water nice and warm, and you just stand under it for a while and let it kind of soften things up, and then rinse out the henna. Just like with regular hair dye, if you wanted to, you could put conditioner on it. I don't know that that everybody does that. But it's going to take a little while to rinse it all out because it's like mud. So just stay in there for a good long time. Try to rinse it out very thoroughly, and then dry your hair and style it as normal, and you won't be disappointed. I'll show you when it's all done.